Ooh, we are back and we are live. My name is Kenny Gould. I am the founder of Hop Culture. I am the creative director at Untapped. I am at Hop Culture Ken on Instagram. And on today's virtual happy hour, I am joined by Melanie Demi and Caitlin Johnson. They are beer bloggers, the former hosts of the 512 Brewed podcast. Don't want to make an assumption, but 512 is the area code of Austin, Texas, which is where I know they both live. So if you're into Texas beer, they got a lot to say about it, I'm sure. We'll get into it. If you've ever had questions about podcasting, if you've ever had questions about beer blogging, about traveling, about advocating for dog-friendly breweries, these are your people. This is going to be your episode, and we're going to have a blast. As always, if you have questions during the episode, feel free to drop them in the comments. I can pull them up on screen. And if not, I'll just ask all my questions because these are two very rad people and I'm excited to chat with them. So without further ado, please welcome Melanie and Caitlin. Boom.
Hi.
Just like that. What's up? Welcome to the party.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. What are we drinking? Let's get it out of the way now. I got to hear what everyone else is drinking too. Drop it in the comments. Let's go.
Yes, I have a Pilsner. It's a local Austin. It's an Austin Beer Works. Their Pearl Snap, which is one of their biggest beers. And it's crisp and perfect for this time of year.
Yes. Caitlin?
I'm drinking another great summer beer style that we love down here in Texas. I'm drinking a Kolsch, and it is a newer beer from Silker Brewing, and they're a brewery out over off East 6 down here in Austin.
That's awesome. I'll share what I've got because it looks really fun. This is from Great Notion. I had Paul from Great Notion on the show last episode, and he was kind enough to bless me up with a couple beers, and this is Will of the Gods from Great Notion, and I just really like that label. It's a collab with Little Beast, I think.
Amazing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's get into it. I'm excited to talk to you both because I had mentioned in the green room that my sister lives in Austin, and I've gotten to spend a little time there, but it's a city that I don't know so much about. So I was really interested in hearing about the scene out there. What are some of your favorites? If somebody's coming to Austin, what are the big breweries that they have to go to? And then, like, what is the under the radar brewery that, you know, they also have to go to, but they might not know about?
Yeah.
Either one of you answers. Sorry, I didn't specify who should.
No, you're good. Caitlin, if you want to go back and forth, Caitlin and I have pretty similar beer taste, so we'll probably agree on a lot of these. But one for me, it's a bit of a newer brewery-ish, but Nomadic Beer Works here in South Austin. They are phenomenal people. They have an incredible variety of beer. They're dog-friendly inside, which is always a huge plus for me. And it's just an awesome atmosphere. I love them so much.
Cool. Caitlin, you got a different answer? Is Nomadic your go-to?
Oh, I love Nomadic as well, especially because they open up early. It's a great place to go work during the day and have a beer. But right down the road from them is another newer brewery that I have just been obsessed with, and that's Meanwhile Brewing. It's like two brewers from out in Breakside Brewery, I think, out in Oregon.
Yeah.
And they've just been, I mean, we got to go visit before they open. It's a massive, beautiful place. And we just got to try one of their beers. And now they regularly have 15 different beers on tap and a lot of German lagers, which we both really love. And it's just a beautiful place. They have live music every night. That has been a game-changing brewery for me. But whenever I'm there, I'm either at Nomadic before or after. I love it.
Because they're close to each other?
Yeah.
So you can do the little. Yeah. Can you walk from one to the other?
Not that close.
Everything's bigger in Texas. You gotta drive, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. I haven't. I have heard of Meanwhile. It's somebody I know's brother opened it, but I didn't know it was open yet. I have not heard. It's been a long day. I have not heard of the other one, but I'll check them both out. You said, Melanie, what was yours?
Nomadic Brewing.
Nomadic
Beer Works, actually.
nomadic and meanwhile. Yes.
Yeah, and that whole I know when I first moved here, and Austin's has so much to catch up with how many breweries we have, but we've been doing a lot of work. A lot of breweries are just constantly opening. But when I first moved up here, it was North Austin was kind of the brewery district, and there's still 5 or 6 breweries that you can walk to up there, but now it's been South Austin, and this new whole brewery neighborhood's been opening up. Pine House Pizza just opened up their fourth location down there. There's Independence Brewing down there. There's a handful of other great breweries down there, but so that's another really fun and Vacancy and St. Elmo, the list just goes on and on for South Austin breweries.
Yeah, cool. Why do you think, what's been behind this new wave of brewery openings? What is it about Austin that's popping off right now? Or is it just people are moving there?
I know 2015, 14, a whole bunch of laws in Texas changed where breweries, they could, before they couldn't sell their beer. They had to, the beer that they sold in their tap room, they had to sell it through a distributor first or something weird, something so bonkers like that. And so that just prevented a lot of people from opening breweries. And so now they changed that law, and we're doing all this catching up. Beer to go is finally legal. A brewery just a year ago can sell their beer from their tap room to customers to consume off premises, which is just wild. Yeah. So you go to a favorite new brewery and you can't take any of it back.
Right.
Yeah. Unless they distribute, you're not having it again.
But
recently,
wild.
I think down in South Austin, a lot of breweries these days, they're really opening up with it's no more little warehouse spaces. They're really big thought out breweries and almost community centers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Austin is growing so massively and rapidly, and beer's always been, we've never had as many breweries as other major cities, but it's always been a big community thing here in Austin. And I think as we grow, so does that love and passion for the craft beer industry. And it's really showing in what's been opening here in the last couple of years.
That's awesome. I hear from my sister about housing prices and rental rates. Is it still feasible for a brewery to find a large space, or are you getting a pretty hefty bank loan and it's not really reasonable to bootstrap a brewery in Austin right now?
I think South Austin, why it's popping up with breweries, is because there's a lot more space is cheaper. But what I've seen a lot of new breweries open up is they have food and a kitchen. And I think that's how they might be doing it, because that probably brings in a lot more money that way. But yeah, or they just come in with lots of money, because meanwhile, it's rolling up and they're here's a 2-acre brewery and a soccer field and a stage and 3 food trucks.
Only miles from downtown Austin, which is wild.
Is there a brewery with a soccer field?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Where is this?
It's Meanwhile. It's South Austin. Yep.
They have a soccer field. That's wild.
Yeah. I don't think they've started. They want to do a team thing or something like that, but I don't think they're have that set up yet, just because COVID's coming to an end. So I think that's a work in progress. But I know that was one of their it was something like that. They want to do some teams or something or some league.
One of the owners is really, really into soccer teams, and I was chatting with them one day, and they were yeah, you see all these junior soccer fields and these little teams for kids, but there's really nowhere for adults who love soccer and want to play soccer. So they're I'm going to build one at our brewery, and they did. I think hopefully sometime soon they're probably going to open it now that things are starting to get a little bit more flex here in Texas.
That's wild. That reminds me of Hoof Hearted Brewing in Columbus, Ohio has a pool, which is really neat. Yeah, it's awesome. In the summer, it their brewery tap room opens right out onto the pool, and then they have an outdoor bar too, so you can go get fresh beer and kick it at the pool.
That's where I would to my list.
Yeah, I would be there every day. I'm surprised that's not here.
I know.
I'm surprised that's not here.
I'm light bulb.
If you open it, let me know. I want in.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I jumped ahead in the narrative. First of all, how do you guys know each other? where did the podcast start? Like, what's going on here? Give me some context. What's the background here?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Caitlin and I met, we're both content creators, and we met through Instagram, and we really hit it off.
Oh,
And this was like maybe, Caitlin, a year before the pandemic hit. And so we became fast friends, loved hanging out, talking about beer. And once COVID hit, I was bored, and I was like, Caitlin, you must be bored. We should do something. And at first, Caitlin was like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then Caitlin, you had the brilliant idea for the name. So I don't know if you want to like go through this little euphemism you had.
So it was all like I was on the fence, as Mel was saying, but like I had an idea for a name and I was like, it's perfect. We have to do it. It's destiny. But like, so 512 Brewed is the name of the podcast, and like 512 is the area code. But between Mel and I, we have 5 dogs. On the show, we'd be like, drinking, reviewing, talking about one beer, and then it would just always be like the two of us. So like 512, and I was like, like, it's like texting her, shaking, like, oh my God, like we did it, we're doing it.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me one of you has 1 dog and the other one has 4?
Kind of close. I have 3. Caitlin has
3 and 2.
Yeah.
Cool. So I know dogs are a big thing for both of you. Talk to me about like the Austin dog scene. I know you had mentioned that, there are some breweries that are dog friendly inside, which is super cool. Very rare. Like, is that unique to Austin, or have you seen that in other cities? Like, is Austin a good place for dog owners? Like, talk to me about the scene.
Yeah. I'll let Mel take that, because you've done more traveling to other cities with your dogs. And so I'm sure you've gotten to experience that, because I feel like Austin loves dogs. And if you're not dog friendly, you're like shunned. But yeah, other cities, it's not always the same.
Yeah, for sure. Austin is definitely like the most dog friendly city I've ever been to. Not even like just with the breweries, but everybody here has a dog. Dogs, you can't walk outside in Austin and not see at least 15 dogs on your walk. Like, it is, people here love their dogs, and it's reflected in the beer scene here. Like, I can think of like maybe 1 or 2 breweries that aren't necessarily dog friendly. But most of them, if they're able to, there's weird laws with it, but if they're able to, they'll allow them inside. And if not, there's definitely like always space for them on the patios. And we see it a lot here. And I've seen it kind of somewhat frequently in other cities, but definitely not to the scale where you have here in Austin. And I think part of that reason is we have really good weather most of the year. So even if they are not allowed inside, dogs can hang out on the patio. Whereas like Caitlin and I did a road trip up to the Northeast. And I think most of the breweries that we visited were dog friendly, but most of it was just outside, which once it's snowing and cold is not really as feasible as it would be often.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I mean, here we are, I'm in Pittsburgh, and we're still arguing about whether kids should be allowed at breweries.
That's a different story.
Yeah. And then, Austin comes in with the dogs. That's awesome. All right. Tell me their names. What types have we got? Introduce me to the family. Let's go. Let's get into it.
You go first, Mel.
I have 3. My little one, she's here. She'll probably make an appearance at some point because she loves it. I've got Brooklyn, who's a little dachshund. I've got Cooper, who is a golden retriever. And then I have Lucas, who's our Great Dane. So I've got all 3 different sizes.
Whoa. Yeah. Small, medium, and large. And and a golden retriever is by no means a small dog, but compared to a Great Dane, it's
right.
Medium size. Are they all friends? Do they cuddle? Do they like to play? That's adorable.
So, big and little love each other. Like, one sleeps on our Great Dane on a regular basis. Our Golden's kind of his independent self, but they all coexist. They love each other, even if they don't always like show it.
Nice. Caitlin, what about you? Who do we got?
So I've got 2 dogs. I've got a border collie mix, but he's mixed with a golden, so he's golden size, a big border collie. He's about 8, and then we recently adopted a a little mini Schnauzer mix. His name's Louie, and he is 2.5.
Aw.
And this
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Yeah, we took. Let me see if I can get Louie, because
Is that Brooklyn?
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took both of them. I'm trying to get Louie up here, but we took Louie and Brooklyn on our road trip, and they were like boyfriend, girlfriend, bestie. They got into a lot of trouble, but
yeah.
Oh wait, I'll just move it down. Here's Louie.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's so adorable. Awesome. I don't know if you can see that back there. That was my boy. R.I.P. Gus. He was a cool dude. Dedicate this episode to Gus, but we keep him alive in that photo.
Oh, love that.
So Melanie, you mentioned that you and Caitlin are content creators, which is super interesting. I think when I was in high school, and somebody said, "What do you want to be?" Nobody was like, "I want to be a content creator." Like that job didn't exist, But now it's like a totally feasible thing. And I know that, you have over 30,000 Instagram followers. Caitlin, you've got over 20,000, which is awesome. Talk to me about that. How did you set out on that journey? And is that still something like people can do on Instagram, or is it like the market's crowded, you're better off trying a new platform?
I don't think the market's crowded. I think there's always room everybody brings in their own little niche. Caitlin is amazing at anything and everything, beer and travel. I do a lot of focus on dogs, clearly dog-friendly spaces. I think, everybody has their things that they're passionate about, but I didn't go to high school and was like, I'm going to be a content creator. I was actually in the veterinary industry for a really long time. And during that, I started my account because I had so many pictures of my dogs. I was like, somebody needs to see this other than my 5 Facebook friends. And from there, it just kind of grew. I loved sharing places that I could take the dogs to. I loved doing research as to where I could take my dogs inside if it was raining, or what breweries were dog friendly and what cities could I take them to, and et cetera. And I just kind of grew from there.
That's awesome. And Caitlin, how about you?
Yeah, so I started with a blog, and I always loved writing, and I figured, once I graduated school, I was like, I'll probably never get a job being able to just write and do that kind of stuff. So I went from when I was in college too, I was traveling a lot on spring breaks, just going to doing solo trips to Central America and those areas, and just different US cities, just trying to get out of Virginia, and it I just started blogging about that, writing about my journeys. And then after college, student loans kind of rolled in. So I was like, we'll just start traveling more stateside. So me and my boyfriend, we started doing all these kind of day trip, weekend trips. And we found that visiting breweries and wineries were a really good way to find a new town. You go into Google Maps and you search brewery, and you just kind of hover over a random area. There's probably going to be a cute little restaurant or a downtown area and all that fun stuff, maybe some nature stuff. So we were using breweries to inspire our travels, and that's what my WordPress website turned into. And then I moved down to Austin. I got a job in marketing, and I was like, whoa, I should market this. And so I just kind of got it from there. And just like Mel, you start sharing that knowledge that you gain from doing all this research, and the skills that you gain from doing that research, and just sharing it with people. And I think a lot of content creators, they really do just they like writing, or they like photography, or they like graphic design, or they like copywriting. And so they're able to monetize that. But I also have I have a 15-year-old niece, and I think since she was 10 or 11, she said that she wants to be a YouTuber.
Is she? So is she doing
it? She is. And she is so passionate about it. She works her butt off editing those videos. Meanwhile, I'm a little lazy dragging my feet, but I always make sure to send her any, a selfie ring or a tripod, anything that I can send to encourage that, because it is a possibility. And I don't think it's too saturated. There are billions of people on this planet, and I'm sure all three of us and everybody watching, you'll find a random channel or page, and they'll have millions of people, and like you love their content. And you're like, how did I not find out about this? Like,
Oh, it just happened to me the other day on YouTube.
right?
I'm not like,
Always.
That's awesome. So we got a great question. I'm going to pull it up. Boom. This is for either of you. Alan asked, have you ever worked with local shelters to host dog adoptions at breweries?
So I haven't done that specifically. I've kind of helped with the marketing side, not through my platform. Would love to do that now that things are kind of starting to open up again before. But I have done a couple of fundraisers for different brands. One of them was a dog treat brand that works with like adults with disabilities. And we hosted it at a brewery here in Austin and had the best time and raised a good amount of money for them. And it was so fun. So yeah, anytime that I'm able to do that, I'm more than happy to.
Awesome. Caitlin, what about you?
No, unfortunately, not yet. I know like a lot of breweries around Austin are always having cool events, especially dog related ones. It kind of like seeing that question reminds me of the Barks for Beers event that we have every year.
That's
and we love
Austin?
Promoting that. Yeah, so it's basically
What is that?
so you pay, it's more for therapy dogs. It benefits like a local therapy dog group. And those are people who go to like jails and hospitals and like nursing homes. And they just bring dogs.
Yeah.
And the dogs, like good morale boost. But Barks for Beers, you pay like $30 for this little paw sport, they call it. And you get like a free beer at like 30 different breweries, 20 different breweries. And so that's always really fun to like work with them to promote.
What a fun idea. That's so cool. You mentioned it like everybody knows what that would be, but like I'm in Pittsburgh. Like I said, we're still arguing about whether kids should be allowed at a brewery. I think that's such a cool idea. And I think Alan's idea is super cool too. We did at Hop Culture, we did a glass once. Our artist, Sam Taylor, who did most of the art you see behind me, these are different posters and stuff from our festivals, but he did a dog glass once. It was a Tiku glass with different faces of like famous dogs all around the glass, done in that cartoon style. So he did like Clifford and Courage the Cowardly Dog and Dog from Cat Dog, and had all the different faces. And then all the money went to the ASPCA. No, it was Biggie's Bullies, I think, for that one. And then we did a cat glass. That was with our mutual friend brewing in Denver. We had an event with them. And then we did a cat glass with Finback Brewing in Brooklyn for the ASPCA. And it was the same concept, but it was just super fun. I think like, because pets, I was wearing a shirt with a cat. I have 2 cats, and I was wearing a shirt. That was actually took a lot for me to admit. I don't usually lead with that. But they're awesome.
we both own a cat too.
Oh,
so.
There we go. Cool. I should have led with that. They're the best. And I was never really a cat guy. I kind of got stuck with these 2 cats. I could not love anything in my life more than these 2 cats. And I was wearing a sweatshirt with a cat on it at like TJ Maxx the other day. And some woman just stopped me and was like, cats are great, aren't they? And I was like, they're amazing. And she's like, they have just these personalities. And I was like, I know, like, because I have 2 of them, and they're like people, but fluffier. Oh man, pets, just great.
It looks like maybe we should team up and do something here in Austin.
That would be awesome. That would be cool. Alan, you're invited.
Yeah.
I don't know where you live, but you're invited. Everyone watching is invited. Cool. We'll connect. I think between the 3 of us, we probably have a pretty decent social media presence. We could make it big. Cool. Melanie, I was doing some research for this episode, and I went onto your Instagram, and I saw on your Instagram that you had a mention to something called TikTok. I'll be honest, I turned 30 in November, and I have never felt old in my life. And I'm not, until I started talking to people about TikTok. And I'm just like, I'm not on that train yet. I want to be. Like, talk to me about it. How many followers do you have on TikTok? How does it like? How did you get that many followers? Like, what is that like?
It's like getting on a roller coaster that you have absolutely no idea what you're about to like encounter, and then it just kind of falls off the rails, and then you somehow figure it out. I don't know. TikTok is a beast of its own. I have a little over 500,000 followers on TikTok, and it's been a journey for sure. I started mostly sharing dog stuff. It wasn't until recently that I kind of incorporated my like boozy side into it. But a lot of my followers came from, I had another dog in last year who was I'm gonna bring this down a little bit.
Oh no.
Diagnosed with cancer, and so we like started this bucket list for him, and we shared the journey on TikTok, and that's how we gained a lot of our audience. And it was honestly like, it really sparked my passion for creating short form content, like video content. It's something that Instagram we really didn't have an option to do on, and there really wasn't another platform like it. And so now it's, I don't know, it's just it's a fun creative outlet for me to like create short form video content that I love.
Is it so? Okay. Did it all happen at once? Did you post a video and you woke up the next day and it had gone viral and suddenly you had 100,000 new followers? Or is it like over the last year, every video you've posted, you've gotten incrementally a little more popular until now you're at 500,000 followers?
So yes and no. There were a couple of viral, I think TikTok is such a weird platform that you can't really, you never know what's going to hit it. It could be
Right.
the stupidest video that you spent 3 seconds on and like just threw together, and it, somehow exploded overnight, and you got like 5 million views and all these new followers. Or you could spend, 4 hours creating a video that like reaches 200 people, and you're like, great, this platform hates me. So for me, it was a mixture of both. I've had a couple of videos that just have gone viral, and that always tends to like spike in followers. But I think it's been a pretty slow but steady growth pattern for me over the last year.
And is there like a through line between what has been popular, or you really just have no idea?
It's been a little, okay. So I think it's always been a little bit of everything. Like I had my dog's like story go viral, his like cancer story go viral, and then my golden retriever is like a pro at holding things in his mouth, and I created like a compilation of him like holding a pizza and a sandwich and like all these things, and that like stupidly went viral. And then I just created a video about like dog leashes one day, and it's been all over the place for sure.
And has that had any impact on your other platforms, or you don't really see crossover between what happens on TikTok and what happens on your other platforms?
So I'm going to say yes, but only a little bit. And I'm kind of thankful for that, because the TikTok audience does seem to be a lot younger than on other different platforms. Considering that I post a lot of alcohol-related boozy content on Instagram, that's like a big focus of mine, and travel. I just don't think that Instagram specific would be beneficial for my followers on TikTok. So it's been a slow trickle from TikTok over to Instagram, but nothing like super extreme.
Caitlin, are you on TikTok?
Yeah, like I've tried a few times, and I've tried all of it, like the video where it's like a travel guide, and like I spend like a few hours working on it, and then everything just like a silly random like dog video. And Mel said it, but like TikTok is a totally different beast. But what I love about TikTok is I think it's like here to stay, and it's going to get bigger. And like I'm waiting, because I run into a lot of the same issues where the audience is geared a bit younger. So like I can't really like post most of my content, but there's always, things to post. So like that's just a silly excuse. But I love what TikTok has done. Like, I mean, some of my favorite songs have come from TikTok. Most of my favorite songs actually have come from TikTok. And like Instagram is so far behind. Like it blows my mind seeing like what people are able to do creatively on TikTok, because there's so many editing tools. And I think people are really finding like, oh my God, people are so creative on there. And like it just blows my mind. And It also blows my mind. I've seen like silly short little videos getting like millions of views.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh my God, the video is like awesome and it's funny and cute. And like, as people's time or attention span gets shorter and shorter, those kind of videos. I mean, I'm still like mystified by like Vine. I'm like, how are people funny in 7 seconds?
Okay. I think the reason I'm not on TikTok yet is because I don't want to get my heart broken again. Like Vine was dope and it was here and now it's gone. And that hurt, And so I've been kind of holding out, waiting to see if TikTok sticks around. But I think you're right. I think it's here to stay. I think it's like it's just another platform. But it sounds like nobody has any idea. Everyone I talk to there's a chef actually that we did an event with once, and he's got millions of followers now. Lives here in Pittsburgh for his pasta videos. He makes pasta. And I haven't talked to him about it, but everyone I've talked to that has had success on TikTok, they've just been like, I have no idea why. It's cool, but I thought I had it figured out, but I have no idea. So
if anybody's listening has a secret sauce, definitely hit us up. We need to know it.
Yeah, we need to know it. Mel, I thought you would have had the secret sauce. That's kind of what I was hoping for, but
sorry to disappoint, but I'm just
keep hoping.
I was gonna say one of our, I guess this area's biggest TikTokers. I'm sure you know her, Mel, or seen her, but it's this woman who's a beekeeper. And I'm sure you've seen videos of her. Her videos get tens of millions of views. And it's just, she's a beekeeper, or I guess not exterminator, but she basically goes out to people's barns, houses, and removes bees. And she's this pretty blonde. Yeah. And she, I think she's on Ellen Show, Today Show, BuzzFeed. But that's what's really cool about TikTok is Instagram does not allow for that kind of explosion, right. Mel, I'm sure you can speak more to this, but the difference in the reach and new audience in ways that you've been able to grow in TikTok is probably so much bigger than Instagram has ever been to you.
Absolutely. And I think even after Instagram launched Reels, which is their competitive, right. Side of competitive. I've had a couple of videos cross over the 2 million view mark, but the amount of explosion that you see on TikTok when that happens versus you see on Instagram when that happens is absurd. Instagram is a long way to go. And I don't know. We not to go off on a tangent here, but they just said that they're no longer an image sharing platform and they're trying to be super competitive with TikTok. I'm like,
what are they? They're a video platform now?
They want to be. They essentially want to be everything at once. And there's
sorry, Instagram.
No.
That's my only fear for TikTok is Facebook buys them, because Facebook, Instagram used to be its own thing and then Facebook bought them, and that's when it just went downhill. So and I know TikTok seems pretty stuck in their ways, and
I gotta start practicing my dances.
Yes,
that's all I see on TikTok, but maybe I'm not following the right channels.
I haven't ventured into that realm yet. I'll let you know.
You teach the dog some dances.
Hey, there's some
fun. Cool. Well, speaking of TikTok and Instagram, if people want to follow you guys, they want to see the content you're creating, they want to learn more about Austin, they want to see some cute pictures of dogs, where do they go? What do they do? Caitlin, you're up.
Yeah, so I've got a blog, bigworldsmallgirl.com. You can also follow me on pretty much every social media at bigworldsmallgirl. So yeah, just search for that and let's get connected and hang out.
Cool. Melanie?
Yes. So you can find me on pretty much any social platform but YouTube. I have not stepped into that category yet. At Her Boozy Tales, it says on the screen. And then if you want travel guides for dogs, my blog is 3dogsonebar.com.
3dogsonebar.com. Are those numbers spelled out, or are they the numbers?
They're spelled out.
Okay, cool. Did I miss anything? Any last things you guys want to say? Oh, there we go. There's no.
I put my handle up.
Oh, there's no vowels. Well, there's some vowels, but there's.
I was one letter, big world, small girls, like one letter short of like Instagram. And so I was like, well, I'll just remove the like first vowels of the second like word. It'll be easy for people to understand. And but
Yeah, it's easy.
if you search like with spaces in between the words, I'll come up. Like it's in my name. So
cool. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. I'll let you know the next time I'm in Austin. We can plan a dope dog adoption at Meanwhile or another brewery. It sounds like anyone would have us.
Yeah.
And this was a pleasure. I'll be in touch. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you so much for having us. This was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so fun chatting.
Bye. All right. That was awesome. Go to Austin, check out the breweries that were mentioned. Bring your dog. Why not? Sounds like you'll all have a blast together. For Untapped HQ, I'm Kenny Gould at Hop Culture Ken, creative director at Untapped. And this was Virtual Happy Hour. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I think I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And if not, I'll see you another time. So cheers. Have a great 2 weeks. Have a great night. And all the best. That's it. Ken out.